The album there too?
Still waiting for a few people. Please take your seat. We'd like to get started. Okay, I think just about everyone's in their seat, so if I can have everyone's attention. I know some of you are seeing people you haven't seen for quite a while, but if we can have your attention up here, we're about ready to begin our evening. Is that right? Okay, I know that the salad's on the table, but we haven't had the invocation yet, so if everyone could just stop what you're doing and give me your attention up here, we're going to get started. First of all, if you look in your program, I'm not Dr. Rebecca Mitchell, and I'm not Ron Howard, but I'm going to be the one to welcome you tonight. And I know a lot of you know who I am. Some of you maybe don't know. My name is Cliff Hubbard. Long time teacher and coach at Roxborough. Unfortunately, I'm not there now, but I'm still doing this for the school district. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to our 14th induction ceremony to Roxborough Sports Hall of Fame. And we've had quite a few illustrious people going in the past. We have quite a few illustrious people going in tonight. So we hope everyone will sit back and enjoy the evening, enjoy your food, see your favorite inductee inducted tonight, and then we'll talk to you again a little bit later on. I'd like to at this time bring up Fred Hauser for the invocation.
bow our heads in prayer. God, our Heavenly Father, the giver of all good gifts, we thank you particularly for the gifts you gave these athletes who were so outstanding, and for Ann Jeffers and her coaching. We thank you for the contribution they made in the sports figures and tradition at Roxborough High School and in the Roxborough community. We pray now, Father, that you would bless this food for the nourishment of our bodies as we seek to serve you and each other. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
Before we eat, I just want everyone to recognize that Fred Hauser has been very sick. He came out of the hospital to be here tonight, and I want to make it clear that Fred went out of his way to get here to honor everyone here tonight. According to the agenda, we're supposed to have a moment of silence now for our troops in Iraq. So may we have a moment of silence for our troops. Thank you very much. I don't have the agenda in front of me, but I think we're supposed to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Would everyone stand, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance? I'm not aware of any flag in here, so oh, we found a flag. There should be right there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remain standing, please. John Barkley, come up here. John is our resident soloist, but tonight he needs a lot of help with our school song. Everybody pitch in. Here we go. Here you go. Okay. Roxborough, we love thee. We will stand by thee through all. Oh, Roxborough, the beautiful school, we will never let thee fall. Our Roxborough High School, way up on the hill, all will hear her glory, echoed with a thrill. Shall we work with spirit for our high school? Roxborough, we will. Sit down, enjoy your dinner. Enjoy your dinner. We'll be back. If I can have your attention, please. At this time, I am going to introduce the past inductees and have them stand and be recognized. So if you'll kindly be courteous and give these people your attention. When I call your name, I'd like to have you stand. I always tell people to hold their applause. It never works so you don't blow applause, but clap for it by equal. Actually, we have 26 former inductees attending the banquet this evening. And we have inducted 6 teams, and they are soccer, volleyball, 2 baseball teams, 2 football teams, and we have a total of 250 members. I'm told this is one of the best turnouts we've ever had. Now I'd like to start with the inductees. First on our list, and these are not in alphabetical order, so be ready when your name's coming up. Is Joe around? Joe, can you turn this up? I understand that there's not a lot of volume. Joe D'Angelo, could you turn this up? Anyway, very fitting. The first person on our list is Fred Hauser, the legendary football coach.
two championships at Roxborough High School, 57 and 63. The next person is Carl Flaxman, who was the founder of wrestling, not only at Roxborough High School, but in the city of Philadelphia. John Maiden, a three-sport man in football, basketball, and baseball. And Dr. Edward Belzer, who probably took the longest route to get here. I think it was from Nova Scotia or Newfoundland. I'm not sure if it's true. But it's Dr. Belzer. George Roystad, he was a three-sport man, football, baseball, and track. And the man who's the backbone and the heart of this Sports Hall of Fame, Ron Halley, three-sport man, football, baseball, baseball. George Katzenbach, three-sport man, football, baseball, and bowling. Leroy Cronmiller, three-sport man, football, basketball, and baseball. The lady who does so much work for this organization, you can't imagine. Terry Hammis, volleyball, public league championships, and 7 district championships. And we have the man who was a kicker in both the Cotton and the Orange Bowls. Sid Young, football, varsity, police kicker, basketball player, track, and tennis player. So, Sid here. Ahmad Shah, retiring man. Luke Pennell, football and track. And this young lady, Loretta Bunch, hockey, basketball, softball coach, is being inducted into the Pennsylvania Philadelphia chapter of the Sports Hall of Fame on April the 7th. And Cliff Hubbard, who was our Toastmasters earlier this evening, who won 2 baseball championships. They also played football, baseball, gymnastics, and this time, Cliff is the main man in athletics in the Philadelphia School District. This is Eleanor Ponder, who is here for her deceased husband. Eleanor, would you stand up, please? Lou was Nick Ponder, who was certainly a well-known athlete, official, and coach. Joe D'Angelo, owner of this establishment. He was a renowned football place kicker, and he is a coach. He has been a coach at a number of colleges in this area. Bill Lucas, football, basketball, baseball, and track. Bill Lucas. Joe Moran Jr., former wrestler and football player. Joe Stanley, baseball, football, championship team in 1969, and athletic director in the Philadelphia School District, whose son will be the varsity football coach next year at Roxborough High School. Anthony Oskopinski, golf coach for many years. He won 6 golf championships, and he also had 7 undefeated teams. Bill Fallon is the soccer and the track star at Roxborough High School. Paulo Gambaro. Romero, known as the Italian Connection. He was a two-time, I get this, a two-time high school All-American and a three-time All-State recipient. He still holds the public league record for most goals scored in public league games in the history of the public. And he always brings his family to this banquet. And Bob Warner, a three-sport band, football, basketball, and baseball. And Kyle Robinson, swimming and golf. Robert Tucker Celeste, football. Jack Pottinger, football and track. Yours truly, Jim Howard, soccer and swimming.
Good evening. Can you hear me, Jim? Coming out all right? I'd like to just take a brief moment and before I get into tonight's dedications, I'd be a little remiss, especially for my committee, if I didn't chill my golf out of here a little bit. Everybody has these at their tables. There's more up here. If you're not on our mailing list, folks, fill out the bottom, leave it in the box up here. We'll make sure you get the brochure when we send it out in June. We pushed the date back a little bit this year to Columbus Day. It's a holiday, so you don't have to skip out looking for an excuse. It's already there, but it's a lot of fun. Each year, as most people know, we dedicate our program book to a special person in the community. This year, our book is dedicated to Eddie Bo Peters. Eddie, I'd like you to stand. We went through this morning, so he's got the routine down. Tell you a little bit about Eddie. Eddie was a member of the Roxborough High class in 1975. While at Roxborough High, he played JV baseball and varsity football. Somewhere along that journey, Ed learned the most valuable lesson that can be passed on by a coach, a parent, or both. That being one to give back to your sport and the youth of your community, your love and passion for your sport, along with the sheer enjoyment of athletic competition. To show a child the proper way to play a sport, to make a commitment to team, to respect your teammates and your competition, how to handle yourself on and off the field. These are the qualities you look for in a person who is perhaps going to coach your son or daughter, or who is a volunteer with your local athletic association. And this is Eddie Bo Peters. While he is well known throughout the 21st Ward in baseball, basketball, football, and hockey circles, Eddie comes to us out of the Tigers AC. Yeah. While holding various elected positions on their executive board over the years, Ed also coaches baseball, BB and senior basketball, and hockey for the club. In 2000, the Tigers honored him with the Danny Volpe Award. However, the Tigers AC was only a springboard for Ed's other endeavors throughout the 21st Ward. He serves on the advisory board of the 21st Ward Junior Baseball League, currently acts as equipment manager for the entire league. Ed is also a highly respected umpire, as he is a registered American Legion umpire, ASA softball umpire, and 21st Ward Junior League Man in Blue as well. Ed is also part of the coaching staff for the Roxborough Bandits Cooperstown Tournament Squad, which made the trip back in 2000 and will again do so in 2005. Eddie has never forgotten his high school. Since the 90s, he has assisted the coaching staff for the varsity football team at Roxborough. As a volunteer, his countless hours helping students on and off the football field and basketball court earned him the Roxborough High School Root Award in 2004. It is in recognition of all the above described endeavors of selfless hours of volunteer work that the Executive Board of the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame dedicates this program book to Eddie Bo Peters. I'd now like to bring up Loretta Bunch. We'll get off with the introductions.
Joe Gratzinger, President of the 21st Ward Hall of Fame. Where are you? Thank you. The guests from the 21st Ward, please stand. Oh, George, you're giving me a hard time. Guests from the Summit Chapter. Get a big wave, okay. Paul Bennett, President of the Tigers Athletic Club. And I'm trying not to duplicate, but I will duplicate one, and that is Dr. Belzer, because you have come all the way from Nova Scotia. Candy Mandarine, if you would just raise your hand, because I'm going to call on you in a few minutes. Kathy is back there.
I switched.
You switched? You're up here. Okay. She's ready. And Dick Hewlett came from Pittsburgh. Dick, where are you? Where are you? Thank you. So that this will be a blessed night. Sister Evelyn Rogalski. Okay. I'm turning now to, more travelers from Florida and Sharon Oswald. Welcome from the sunny state, right? Where are you? And Steve Rebecca, past president of the Lions. All right, Gary Lawrence, you just stood up so you can wave. He's the sports editor for the Review. Oh, okay. Dr. Rebecca Mitchell and Mr. Robert Mitchell, would you please stand? Dr. Rebecca Mitchell is the principal of Roxborough High School. We will be hearing from her before the end of the evening, and her husband is from the Boston Motivation Center. Okay. On to Joe D'Amelio, the athletic director at RHS. And this person is not going to wave, but we're going to acknowledge our youngest, Joey Angelina Calpapietra, a 16-day-old daughter of Joe and Angelina Taylor Young. And now we have councilmatic citations from Michael Nutter and state citations from Kathy Mandarino. I believe we'll have Kathy. If you would do the state citations, please. I see girls on that.
Good evening, everyone. We have a lot of out-of-towners, actually, so most in-towners do know who I am, but my name is Kathy Mandarino. I'm the state representative for the 194th district in which you are sitting, and in which Roxborough High School, I am proud to say, is located. As always, I am so pleased to be here, and my congratulations to our inductees tonight, Joseph Calpapietra, I got an Italian accent, Calpapietra, Ron Harmer, Ron Maiden, Pat Helvecka, Walt Cianco, and posthumously to the family of Ann Jeffrey. There are citations from the Pennsylvania House of Representatives for each of the inductees tonight, and just so that you can get a flavor of what they are like, I had a special request from one of the many students who loved Ms. Jeffers when she was at Roxborough and asked me would I read Ann Jeffers' citation as the sample, and I am more than happy to do so. From the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the House of Representatives. Whereas the House of Representatives of Pennsylvania is always pleased to recognize those individuals who, through their outstanding achievements, bring great distinction to themselves, their communities, and this Commonwealth. And whereas Ann Jeffers is being honored posthumously upon her March 17, 2005 induction into the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame. And whereas Ms. Jeffers was a teacher and coach of volleyball, basketball, gymnastics, and tennis at Roxborough High School for many years. In addition, she served as chairperson of the Girls Physical Education Department. Ms. Jeffers contributed immensely to the women's athletic program at Roxborough High School and touched many lives during her tenure. Now, therefore, the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania pays tribute to the late Ann Jeffers on the great honor which is being bestowed upon her, affirmatively states that she is inducted into the her induction into the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame is truly indicative of her immeasurable and unrivaled contributions to athletics, and directs that a copy of this citation be transmitted to the family of Ann Jeffers. Congratulations to her family, congratulations to the family of all of those inductees tonight, and a special congratulations to all of you who are being honored. Thank you.
Bill Phelan will come forward and do the honors for Mr. Nutter.
Hi, I'm Councilman Bill Phelan, and I voted against the smoking ban. Before I read the citation, just want to give a little applause for you tonight. How many of you would like to hear Michael Nutter read this citation? How many want to hear Bill Phelan read this citation? Okay. This particular citation is for Joe Calpietra, and it reads as follows. The Council of the City of Philadelphia is pleased and proud to honor Joseph Calpietra on the occasion of his induction into the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame. Whereas Joseph was a starter on the Roxborough High baseball team for 3 years, and twice was selected as All-Public. At Eastern College, he was captain and their leading hitter for 3 years, and in 1992, he was selected as Athlete of the Year at Eastern College. And whereas Mr. Calpietra went on to a career as a professional coach, he began as an assistant at St. Joseph's University and Eastern College. His first professional coaching position was in the Northern League, and he later coached at Villanova University baseball team to over 100 wins in a 3-year period. And whereas in 2000, Mr. Calpietra became a professional manager and was named the Northern League Manager of the Year in 2002. Currently, he is manager and director of baseball operations of the New Jersey Jackals. Therefore, by virtue of this citation, the Council of the City of Philadelphia hereby honors Joseph Calpietra on the occasion of his induction into the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame. Your outstanding commitment and dedication have the sincere respect and admiration of this legislative body. Congratulations, Michael A. Nutter, Councilman, 4th District, Anna C. Verna, President.
While Joseph Calpietra and George Bennett are making their way forward, would you come forward, please? These plaques are over here on the table. All right, the larger one will be put up on the wall in Roxborough High School. The smaller one is to go home with our honoree. So, both of you come up on stage, please. is George Bennett, all right, is going to present Joseph Caterers.
Thank you. And I'd first like to thank Mr. Phelan for giving my speech. And, I don't think there's too much else to say. That's not a problem at all. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the inductees. Grew up with a number of them. And of course, I'm here to speak about Joe. And I was only kidding about the taking all the information, because you have that right in front of you. But what you don't have in front of you is the struggle that this boy has gone through, this man has gone through, to reach the heights that he has. And he has really done that. He is the most dedicated baseball person I've ever seen in my life. And he has the most supportive family that I've ever seen in my life. And this man is well deserved. We date back a long, long time. As a matter of fact, I first met Joe when he was 13 years old. He went to my baseball camp and made an auspicious debut, and then he broke his arm. And you know how camps are, and broken arms. All you could think of then was a lawsuit. As it turned out, when I came over to see Joe, he was crying. I said, "Come on, Joe, you're going to be fine, you're going to be fine." And he says, "Yeah, but that's not it." He said, "I won't be able to come back to a camp." So he was worried about camp rather than a broken arm. That's the way he started out. You know about him in high school, all public, a couple of years. Well, he attended a university and had difficulty there to start with. And he had to transfer. And he overcame that obstacle by making NAI All-American for 2 consecutive years, which was something. He really wanted to be a professional baseball player, but that didn't work out. But he tried everything possible. He went down to Florida to work at a baseball camp. And in working at the baseball camp, he was supposed to be there for the season. As it turns out, when he gets there, it was 1 week. That was all they were hiring him for. Fortunately, he went over to Sarasota and met a person named Howie Bedell, who actually took a liking to him. And Joe, in that case, was asked by Mr. Bedell to coach the professional level the next season, which he did. But then there was a problem there as well, because Coach Bedell got fired that year, and of course, when the head coach goes, so the assistants. Well, fortunately for me at the time, I needed an assistant coach at Villanova. And we had had our first losing season the season before Joe got here. And as you heard, Joe's teams helped us win, Joe's coaching helped us win over 100 games. We won 40 games the very first year. We won a division title the second year, and the third year we were runner-up in the playoffs. And this was due to him. He also had a very, very good eye for talent. One of the boys that he sent to me got a $450,000 bonus. So he knew things very, very early. A little tragedy there too, though, because Joe, while he was coaching with me, also was coaching in the professional league, and that wasn't a problem. The problem was when he took the job as general manager, and the NCAA would not let you be a general manager and coach at the same time. He went into the professional ranks and developed very well. He started out as an assistant, and then moved on to head coach, and he had a problem there. He had a setback there where he actually lost his job at Allentown. And after losing his job at Allentown, he went to Gary, Indiana. And if you want to look at dedication, just figure this: 12,000 miles in a bus for the whole year. He managed a team that did not have a home field, so you can imagine what that was like. He also got Coach of the Year there at that time. He's been Coach of the Year 2 over the last 3 years. This past year, and his team was down 2-0 in the playoffs. In the finals of the playoffs, they came back and won 3 games. They showed the resilience of their coach. At this time, I would like to, Mr. Chairman, it is with great sincerity and appreciation that I present Joe Caterers and his credentials for acceptance and induction in the Roxborough Hall of Fame.
Not every time. This is the second time this happened that Coach Bennett was speaking on my behalf on an induction. And every time I say I'm not getting nervous and I'm not going to get choked up, and he comes up with these nice things. I just want to thank Coach. Like he said earlier, I've known him since I was a little guy, and he's been a father figure for me. You know, growing up in baseball, and it's I just appreciate his friendship, and he's always been there for me. I want to thank everyone, my family. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Everyone that had you know, something to do with getting me inducted into the Roxborough Hall of Fame. Obviously, being inducted in your high school Hall of Fame is very special. I went back today, and I was thinking all last night, you know, am I going to remember everyone if I see them? And I don't remember the halls and things like that. And when I got there, you know, a lot of pleasant memories started coming back. Just not on the baseball field, but just in school. I wasn't the greatest student in the world. Some of my teachers could vouch for that. But they were always so supportive of everything that I did going through school. And I just found out tonight, being a little detached, one of our school teachers died, I guess, 3 years ago, and never knew it. And he was very influential in my life. And it made me think, you know, about all the times. I just want to thank everyone for being here, Coach Hubbard, for taking me on for 3 years. I'm very honored. I do what I love to do every day, and I'm just very grateful. Thank you very much.
Fred Hauser will now present Ron Harmer. I need another person to come up here. Oh, okay.
I'd like to thank Ron for asking me to be his presenter. It's a real honor. And Ron truly is an athlete that belongs in our Hall of Fame. And I think every Hall of Famer that's introduced has a family that supports him or her, and is the reason why they're up here tonight. And congratulations to your family too. As we indicated in the book, Ron played every play of every game in the days before two platoon. And players back then hated to come out of a ball game. Today, he would be called an impact player. We didn't use that term back then. But offenses back in those days were 80 to 90% of the running game. And 70% of the time, they usually ran to the right. And Ron played left defensive end. And when they couldn't run around Ron, he took away a great deal of their offense. They had to find another place to run. Great defensive player. Couldn't be knocked down off his feet. On offense, he scored 8 touchdowns in an era when we maybe threw the ball 6 times, and if it was a good day, we threw it 15 times. Back then, we didn't throw the ball much. And in all of that, he caught 8 touchdown passes. You figure he may have gotten his hands on the ball 2 or 3 times in a game. Today, when they throw 20, 30, 40 times, he would have caught 20 or more passes. You also see that he kicked the extra points and tip-offs. That's before we brought the soccer players in to do all of that, and he did a great job at that. One of Ron's favorite memories of sports is the fact that he was elected as a Sportsman of the Year when coaches would observe every game and pick out and vote for the one man that showed the most sportsmanship in the game. Ronnie played the game not as a war. In war, we kill and maim. He played it as a football game. We respect our opponent. We prepare hard. We work hard to beat them. We give them respect, and we get respect in return. And that's why he won the game, won the award. Made us as a team proud, made the school as well proud, and this community can be proud of him. Mr. Chairman, it's with great sincerity and appreciation that I present Ron Harmer and his credentials for acceptance and induction in the Roxborough Sports Hall of Fame.
Not too good at this, but I'll try to make a little comment. I wish to thank all who voted for me. I truly love playing football at Roxborough High School. If it wasn't for Fred Hauser, I might have dropped out of school, took me under his wing, and stayed many days after practice with me and gave me all the kinds of tips and watched me kick the field goal. He's a special man, and I am so thankful he was my coach. I also would like to mention some great guys I played with. Bobby Warner, I think the best athlete to come from Roxborough. We had a great pass connection. I kept with him out of sort of trouble with the refs. Ron Halley taught me so much and also gave me a crooked nose. Jerry Maiden, my co-captain and great athlete, Dave Hare, and so many others. I thank the great family and my great family and many friends for their love and support for the years. It is a special honor, and I thank you very much.
Jimmy Howard, I need a favor. If you would bring me Ann's things, would Sheila McCreevy and Eileen Herron come forward, please? Ann Jeffers. I am so glad she chose to become a physical education teacher and coach at Roxborough High School. I stayed at Roxborough and in the Philadelphia area because of Ann. She was a mentor, mother superior, and the buffer between W.C.D. Turk, the principal, Herb Grigson, the department head, and myself. If you need a role model for a professional, Ann is the one. She was also Miss Prim and Proper, personified. She arrived every morning wearing her dress shoes and stockings, and in the winter there was the plaid coat with hat and gloves. Of course, the knees were hidden. Ann was knowledgeable, competent, hardworking, and above all, caring. Ann was innovative, determined, and held her ground for fairness. She was the chairperson of the women's department. There were 5 of us. She coached many activities and established the Girls Athletic Association, which recognized our female athletes at a banquet in the spring, held a sports jamboree, and crowned Miss Roxborough. And Terry Hammis knows well the work involved, and she continued these traditions, keeping them alive and well while she was at Roxborough High School. Ann established a program and a standard that continued after her retirement in the late 70s. While she was in charge, she was going to have the best possible for the children of Roxborough High School. As a physical education teacher, she took on Herb Grigson and his track and field dominated program. She insisted on a program including all aspects of physical education. This ensured that the girls would learn the basics of all sports, exercise, and dance. We still had Blue and White Day in May, that larger-than-large track and field event, which is a beast to organize. She has standards, and if anything, they were ratcheted up a notch, if and whenever possible. The physical education class moved from the time the bell rang at the beginning of the period to the bell ringing at the end of the period. There was no sashaying. Girls, you almost ran to the locker room, snapping your blue bloomer gym suits on your way out the door, up the stairs. Those suits with the 2-inch letters on the front, which were inspected every Monday morning. If you forgot your suit, you were led to one, and you returned it the next day, washed and pressed. We taught, practiced, and graded skills. We, the staff, had our strengths and weaknesses. However, with Anne's tutelage, we had our own professional development. Everyone contributed her expertise to develop units on all aspects of the program. If you had never danced, you learned. If softball or tennis was not your game, you learned. And we learned from one another, and I personally learned so much about teaching and classroom management from Anne and the other members of the staff. To this day, I appreciate the support I received from these women. And as a coach, Anne was terrific because she was an excellent teacher and a superior organizer. Anne saw the whole and paid attention to the details. She stayed up to date on the changes taking place in the sport. She was successful at motivating girls. Her teams were successful because they were taught the skills and strategies. They were well disciplined. In other words, they followed her directions. There was an occasional scowl or pout. Even though she was a terrific coach, Anne stepped aside for the younger and newer members of the staff. However, if there was no one to coach, Anne took the job to make sure that the sport would continue. Now, Anne arrived one day in September and announced that this was her last year. And about 2 days later, a 9th grade girl came into the office and said, "Miss Caterers, do you know Miss So-and-so?" And Anne says, "Yes," and the girl lit up into this big smile, and she goes, "That's my grandmother." And we chuckled to ourselves because the previous winter, Anne had stood in that office and said, when someone walks into this office and says that I taught his or her grandmother, I am out of here. So the coincidence, it must have been ESP or something. To Anne, thank you for taking me under your wing, dedicating your professional life to the students and staff of Roxborough High School. We are better people because you touched our lives. Anne strived to be the best, and she was. Mr. Chairman, it is with great sincerity and appreciation that I present Anne Jeffers and her credentials for acceptance and induction into the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame.
Good evening. My sister and I also learned to dance to her tune. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'd like to take the opportunity to speak on behalf of Anne Jeffers' family and thank you for the privilege of being here to accept the induction to the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame. I would like to especially thank Peg Fullerton for nominating Anne for this honor. Tonight there are 12 of us family members here to celebrate Anne, including her sister Helen Rockwell and 11 of Anne's nieces, nephews, and in-laws. I'm sure that many in the audience did not know Anne, and I would like to tell you a little bit about her. Anne was a health and physical education teacher in the Philadelphia School District for 30 years. She taught for many years at John Bartram High School, a great distance from her Mount Airy home. I remember when she received her transfer to Roxborough High School, she was on cloud 9 and said that she thought she had died and went to heaven. She would be at a school that she would love, that was close to her home. Throughout most of her life, Anne lived with her mother, a strong, independent, single mother who raised a family of 4 children and passed on to them values of faith, integrity, initiative, independence, and hard work. Anne was a loving and supportive daughter and a loyal and loving sister. To us, her 14 nieces and nephews, she was a devoted aunt interested in each of us and our accomplishments, never forgetting our birthdays with a card and a lottery ticket. When great nieces and nephews came along, she remembered them as well. She was the glue that held our extended family together, chronicling special events and holidays by taking pictures, which she would later show to us at slideshows when the family was together to celebrate holidays. Each Christmas, she would travel to see all of her family. In her retirement years, she hosted a Christmas Day eggnog party for all of us at Cathedral Village. My grown children still speak of that to this day. From what we have heard, Anne was a hardworking, well-liked, and dedicated teacher and coach throughout her career. All who know her knew of her love of sport. It was Anne's athletic ability and talent which provided her with opportunities in life. She was a graduate of Callahan High School, where she was a standout basketball player. She played on a state basketball team in high school, and her athletic ability won her a scholarship to Beaver College. At Beaver, Anne played a sport each season: field hockey, basketball, and softball. She made first string on the All-State Girls Basketball team while at Beaver. She earned her bachelor's degree and later a master's degree in education and administration from Temple University. Ann was for many summers a camp counselor and my first swimming teacher. Terry Hammes mentioned to me that Ann also refereed women's college basketball games. Anyone who knew Ann knew that she also picked up a fourth sport, tennis, which she played and played well into her 70s at the Germantown Cricket Club. Ann was aware of the many things that sports had given her: an education and the opportunity to compete, which few women had in the 30s, the experience of being part of a team and developing friendships, the chance to work hard and excel. She valued these things, and I believe she hoped to pass on similar values and opportunities to the students and the athletes she came in contact with each day, whether in the classroom, the gymnasium, on a court, or on a field. Ann wanted each person to be their best, whatever that could be. She referred to her students and athletes as my kids. She never bragged, but took quiet satisfaction in her team's accomplishments. She saw them as their accomplishments, not hers. They made her proud. My sense is that she was a fine coach with a clear understanding of the game and the ability to pass that on. She coached many sports, several she had played, and at least one that she had not, gymnastics. I remember asking her how she could coach that, and she said that with many things she knew little about, she read books and looked for people to help her. I met one of those people that Ann enlisted when my daughters did gymnastics. Some of you may remember Joe Hutland, whom she had recruited to help her with her gymnastics team. That may have been the team that took the city title under the coaching of Terry Hammes, as Ann was homesick one day. Ann was other things too. She was a world traveler, an accomplished bridge player, a wonderful gardener, a lifelong member of Holy Cross Church, and a Red Cross volunteer. She headed the blood drive while at Roxborough High School and continued volunteering after her retirement. Once Ann retired, it was harder for us to reach her than when she was teaching, for she was never home. She enjoyed running into Roxborough students working at Cathedral Village through the years. Active throughout her life, Ann remained active until her death, which came suddenly at 74. She lived a full life filled with opportunities and experiences she was grateful for. She touched many lives and was touched by those she coached and taught. To any who may be in the audience tonight, I want to let you know how much her Roxborough kids meant to her. She respected and enjoyed the company of her many colleagues. If Ann were here tonight, she would feel both humbled and honored by her induction into the Roxborough Sports Hall of Fame. We are honored as a family to receive this award in her name and thank those who remembered her and for contributions to your school.
Would Carolyn Ruffing and Christopher Maiden please come forward to present Ron Maiden.
Hello. Tonight we are gathered with some pretty talented people. It's my privilege to introduce one of them to you, my father, Ron Maiden. Also my sister Carolyn will read a little bit to you about Ron. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Ron Maiden's daughter, Carolyn Ruffing. I have 2 minutes to introduce you to a man, and that's an impossible task considering the person we're talking about. My dad has been an athlete all his life, and we're here because of his exceptional accomplishments in high school, but that is just part of his story. I want to briefly tell you in this introduction about his entire remarkable life. As most of you know, Ron was born and raised in Roxborough. Our dad and his 3 brothers probably got their exceptional athletic ability from their father, but their determination, honor, and faith came from their mother, Susanna. Ron was always active in sports, but he hit his stride in high school. Ron's track achievements showcased his skills of speed and quick thinking. These led to his lifetime talent for decisiveness and tenacity. Baseball allowed him to use strategic thinking, versatility, and his work ethic, helping in his 38-year career at Bell Telephone. Football probably brought out the best in Ron. His almost unbelievable athletic ability, his leadership as a quarterback, and most of all, his loyalty and dedication to each and every team he ever played on. All of these things that he learned from sports helped him to fight in the biggest, longest game that he's had. At 18, soon after graduating, he was diagnosed with diabetes and learned he would be fighting this disease every single day for the rest of his life. And thank you, Ron, for winning. What skills did this game bring to him? Kindness and courage. Kindness. Our Father shows his kindness by always being the first one there. He has helped so many people over the years, mostly quietly and without any desire for a thank you. How many of you here tonight have a Ron story? I know my brother and I have a lifetime of them. Courage. Our Father shows his courage every day. He is a fighter and a champion. So that when we learned that my mother was sick, he said, we're going to fight this thing. And they did, and they won. Ron has lived his life driven by a tough inner will, sustained by his faith, and inspired by his family's love. I am proud when I say to my children, remember, you are a maiden. They have his example to guide them in life. The great man here is truly an incredible athlete. But that is only one title. The one that I will leave you with tonight is obvious, and that is hero. Mr. Chairman, it's with great sincerity and Roxborough High School's honor that I present to you Ron Maiden and his credentials for acceptance and induction into the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame.
I have a lot of stories, but I was talking to a fellow from Arizona who a lot of people know, and he said, well, read me your speech on the phone. I said, I can't do that. I said, why? He said, because I'm not going to write anything down. I don't have anything special to say. Well, I did write some things down, and somebody very nicely gave me an envelope, so I did a lot of writing. I have 4 things here. But first of all, I have to thank some people. Of course, my mother and father, and the greatest person in the world, my wife, who has literally saved my life so many times that she should be in the Guinness Book of Records. And that's a secret. Son of my daughter, and so many people out there that I would have to have probably the Manhattan phone book. It would be as thick as I could thank them. I feel like I should thank people that I always felt a little sorry for, but I shouldn't. And they are the fellas that play the line in front of you if you're a quarterback or you're a halfback. They get very little recognition. They're the offensive men. They're not the guys making the tackles and doing the jitterbug and anything like that. These are the guys that get no recognition, but you just follow their behinds and you're safe. Thank you, gentlemen. If I had you all up here, it would probably empty the place down there. There's always stories, and they are little honors for us because they ring a bell. They do something for you. They give a little hint of what you did from the past. For instance, in the 21st Ward Hall of Fame, in Gordon Kennedy's monologue, he brought up a little story which I had entirely forgotten. And somehow I got on first base, I stole second base, I stole third base, and I waited, and the next guy up struck out. Gordon picks the ball up, rolls it right out to the pitching mound. I run into home. I said, it takes 3 outs, Gordon, not 2. There was another story. I met a fellow that was being inducted in the hallway of Roxborough High School not too long ago, a year ago. And I introduced myself, and he said, Ron Maiden. He said, I used to sneak up onto the field to touch your helmet. I said, whoa, that's all right. One last story, and this one is almost partly true. The Wissahickon Hawks were playing Magnolia Pridesburg. They were naturally our arch enemy. And we were going to play them down along the river. I think it was around Richmond and Ash. I don't know whether. Well, the Hawks had a solid gray uniform with a black helmet. Pridesburg had a solid gray uniform with a red helmet, right? But guess what? It's foggy. It's foggy, right? Oh, and there's one other difference. Every guy on the Wissahickon Hawks was good looking, and the other guys were all ugly. So that's the way it was. That wasn't my, that was just the way it happened. And I somehow received a kick, a punt, came down to my arms, and I ran for a touchdown. And I swear, they couldn't find me. They didn't know where I was. That's why I made it. I just ran away from the ugly faces. That's how I got. Well, I happened to be down there doing a little nostalgia trip, and I was down there the other day. And I'm walking up the field, and guess what? Here comes two big uglies with red helmets on coming this way. This was just the other day. I got to midfield, and they said, "Hey, did you see a guy with a black helmet running around here?" I said, "No, sir, no, sir." But they're the kind of story. But part of that story is actually true. But the first part was the gray and the gray. But these things are things that keep you going. That you hear them, they're just little things, and everybody out there has them. We talk, we tell our little stories, and they are marvelous because everybody is in the Hall of Fame that I ever played against and I ever played with. I'm happy to be here. I say thank you to everybody. It's an honor, and thank you very much.
I need Teresa Hamas to come forward now, and she will present Pat Pavelski. Before I begin my little speech about Pat, I want all the inductees, before they leave the hall this evening, to go over to the induction center, because for the first time we are presenting the inductees with an 8x10 picture of themselves. It's framed and it's yours to take home. It all happened one bright and sunny day in September, the first day of volleyball practice. I saw this young girl running, jumping, yelling, and passing the ball back and forth and calling to her teammates, "Come on, let's go." I thought to myself, who is this kid anyhow? Well, finally, I found out who it was as I collected the information sheets. It was none other than Pat DiCarlo. Pat never let any grass grow under her feet. She brought a spark of sunshine and inspiration to her teammates. Pat worked hard and had excellent athletic abilities. She encouraged exceptional performance from all of her teammates just by her own behavior in practice and all the games. Pat was a joy to coach. She was always on time, always ready to practice, always ready to lend a helping hand, and always, always had a smile for everyone. At Roxborough High School, you could see this bubbly dynamo fully involved in all the other school activities. Also,
Pat was a smart cookie. She knew how to get along with all her classmates, from the National Honor Society to what we call the cool kids. And now Pat has matured into a beautiful young lady, becoming, number one, a wife. Paul, you're a lucky guy, believe it or not. A mother, two handsome sons, Peter and Paul. A beloved daughter to her mother, Giovanna. A loving sister to Loretta and Rosemarie. An outstanding patrolman, excellent in her job, and also what I call a friend, which is a friend in need is a friend indeed. And now, Mr. Chairman, it is with all our love that I and Pat's family wish to present her credentials for acceptance and induction into the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame.
I just want to take a moment to thank the committee for my nomination and the entire membership for my election to the Hall of Fame. However, I especially want to thank Mrs. Teresa Hammes for being such an amazing mentor and role model during my years at Roxborough High and after. As a coach, you led with a stern but gentle hand. You brought our volleyball team to 2 consecutive city championships, which I feel proud to have been a part of. You always strived at having your girls be athletes, but to never forget we were still ladies. I will forever be indebted to you for the lessons learned. I want to thank my teammates from the volleyball and tennis teams for being the inspirational, thoughtful, kind, and strong women who learned the game and played the game to win. For without them, I know I never would have been here. I read the program with the wonderful things written about my years at school, and I realize I need to thank all the other teachers and coaches I had the pleasure of experiencing at Roxborough High School. My years of competing athletically, my academic accomplishments, being involved in all the wonderful opportunities available to me at Roxborough have transcended into my life today. I have learned how to be able to have a full-time job, be a full-time homemaker, and be a full-time mom, all at the same full-time. In conclusion, I want to thank my immediate family, my mom, my sisters, my husband, and my sons for being so wonderful, and to the rest of my family and friends for sharing in my celebration of this honor. I want to thank you.
Walter Cienko will be presented by Duke Cannell.
Does everyone know that it is St. Patrick's Day today? I'm not Irish, but I got my St. Patty's thing, and it's from 1983 when I used to drink with all my Irish buddies. Bill Murphy's back here? Murph, where you at? He's back here. He knows what I'm talking about. The Duke will read from the script. Good evening to everyone. Hold the phone. Congratulations to all the honorees and their wonderful families tonight for a job well done and an honor well deserved. Love you all. Now listen up. I have been reading so much lately in the newspaper about the bad effects of smoking, drinking, overeating, and sex that I have finally decided to give up reading. I feel my job tonight is to introduce to you lovely people Walter Judgy Cianco and his credentials. It all starts many years ago down at North Lake Boys Club here in Minneapolis. Judgy wasn't even a teenager yet. He played basketball, softball, and tag football with St. Joseph's. He was outstanding in all three sports. Upon coming to Roxborough High School, he played football and basketball. In basketball, he played with Ray Schiffner, Frank Stanzak, two great players in their own right. Cianco and Stanzak were known as the Polish Connection. Judgy was always a force out on the court. Due to the 125% effort he would always give to whatever sport he was playing. In football, Judgy was a fullback and linebacker. He played both sides of the ball, offense and defense, and he was just super. 1948 was a great year for football at Roxborough High. Because of Judgy's presence on the field, he was a great runner, blocker, and pass receiver. Thanks, Judgy, for all those great blocks that sprung me loose. Over. Hold the phone, hold the phone. After graduation, he played football with his buddy and old teammate Leroy Cromwell at Port Royal. In 1950, on Thanksgiving Day, Port Royal played the Wissahickon Hawks for the 21st Ward Championship at the Hawks, on the Hawks field. Judgy intercepted a pass from George Bass and ran it back 60 yards for a touchdown. Port Royal beat the Hawks 12-0 to become the champs on that Thanksgiving Day. I'm going to chew my eye on that one. We got Moose Tomorco here, who was the captain. He was out in the field that day. My buddy Moose. In the late 50s, Judgy was the player manager of the Wissahickon Hawks softball team who won 2 championships. He was one of the best athletes that I have ever played with. He was my hero. Judgy and Barbara have 4 precious daughters, and they are here tonight to honor their dad. Barbara passed away last year. An angel one day came and took her away. But I know that she is up in heaven looking down on us and her family. I am quite sure that she likes what she is seeing here tonight. May God bless Judgy and his family always. Peace be with you, and amen. That means the end. Mr. Chairman, it is with great pride and appreciation that I present Walter Judgy Cianco and his credentials for acceptance and induction into the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame.
say. I mean, Duke probably summed everything up that I was going to say. I want to thank my sisters, my cousins, my daughters, my grandchildren, and my friends for being here. And I would also like to thank Frank Stanzak. I mean, he broke his hip. That's the only reason he's not here today. But Duke and I go way back, way, way back. His father was a police officer at the 13th District down in Manayunk, and he used to chase me off the corner at Green Lane and Silver Street. Say, go home, boy. But I also would like to thank my teammates, John Youngflesh, Barkley, the Maidens. I played with all of them. And I think Billy Lucas is here, Chrome Miller. I mean, that was one of the greatest things in my life, at that stage, anyway. And Duke was a sophomore when I was a senior, and back then I called him Billy. I didn't call him Duke. But he was one of the greatest players that ever played at Roxborough High School. I played a long time. I played in the service, and then I became a food and beverage director. I worked in a lot of places. A lot of people probably went there. Wine Cottage, I was there for quite a while. And I ended up at the Tropicana Casino. Met a lot of people, a lot of governors, a lot of athletes, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier. I considered them friends. We used to sit and converse for hours sometimes. Can't say what they used to say. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll remember it for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Congratulations to all of our inductees. Jim, I'll give you a minute to get your picture, and then I'm going to let them go back to their tables. Thank you. Congratulations, thank you, and I'm going to let you go back to your tables and get out of the spotlight. Congratulations. Okay, this is almost. I'm going to ask Dr. Rebecca Mitchell, the principal of Roxborough High School, to come forward. She would like to say a few words. Then we're going to do the 50-50. Norman's over here. Okay, and then we're going to go right with the program with Cliff Hubbard and Fred Hauser. And Terry got her plug-in. Inductees, please take your framed photos. Dr. Mitchell.
Good evening. It is with great pleasure and pride as the principal of Roxborough High School that I am here tonight to help honor the inductees to the Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame. Truly, their credentials have been very impressive, and they are worthy of the honor that has been bestowed upon them. I congratulate them on behalf of our staff and our student body, and I thank them for the commitment and dedication that they have shown down through the years towards their sport. I would also like to thank the committee that worked very, very hard to bring this event to this point. And at this time, I would like for all the committee members that are here to please stand, and let's give them a large round of applause for their hard work. Continue doing something like this for 14 years truly shows love and dedication on their part. And also it shows how much they really love this Roxborough High School Sports Hall of Fame. Again, I would like to thank all of you who helped us tonight. It truly is wonderful to look out and see so many people here that came out to enjoy this wonderful evening and to help us to honor the inductees. Thank you so much, and we appreciate everything that you have done to make this evening a success.
Norm, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Anybody wants to buy tickets, didn't have a chance to buy tickets for a scholarship fund, one last call, then we'll have a drawing. We'll have 3 prizes, one for 200, one for 100, and the third prize for 100. Last year we gave out $500 to a male and female scholar athlete, and this year we'll be giving out a $750 award to each male and female scholar athlete. So thank you all for participating, and if no one else wants to buy any tickets, we're going to have it go on. Can I have this little band here?
One more time. 992 is the first winning ticket. Next number is 508-251. $508-251.
We have the first one.
Thank you very much. Just a few closing remarks. First of all, the main reason why we were here was to honor all of these fine, distinguished new inductees. So wherever the new inductees are, I'd like to have you once again stand so we can give them a great round of applause. All the inductees, please stand where you are. Also, I know that none of them would have been what they are today, so I'd like to have the families of all the inductees please stand. The families of all the inductees. Let's give them a big hand. Families of all the inductees. I don't know where we would be without my brother sitting out there. Duke Fennell. Duke, stand up and take a bow again, please. Duke. My brother Duke, stand up and give us some more words of wisdom. On a more serious note, I hope that everyone enjoyed themselves tonight. I know this is really a great occasion for me to be able to be here as we inducted all of these people tonight. I wish all of them the best. We're going to close with a benediction from Fred Hauser. And I will say, in my closing, and everyone have a safe trip home, and here's Fred Hauser for the benediction.
Nice job, Duke.
I know you're all anxious to get home, and I'd like to send you home with the Lord's blessing. Hi, let's bow for a word of prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we do thank you for the privilege of being here tonight. We ask that you give each one of us a safe journey home, a restful night's sleep, and we thank you for the gift of a new day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.